Dude, Sam, we're back. It's the Legends in Detail podcast, and we're back.
Dude, you were way more excited than I am.
Dude, it's been a little while now. Like
It's been like 2
I thought we
weeks.
were shutting it down. I was about to be like, I guess
Dude,
I'm rolling solo.
I think last time I checked, which was like a few days ago, we had like 22 views.
Yeah, dude, it's not good. We're
just doing this for ourselves.
Yeah, dude, it's just for fun. Honestly, when I cut the dead weight, I'm kidding, obviously. I do it, it's a way for us to hang out too, Like, honestly, Sam, you've been over to my house more this past couple months than ever before.
Pickleball and podcast.
Pickleball and podcast, man. That's my this podcast will become a pickleball podcast. It's only, dude, honestly,
have less viewers.
Honestly, though, I've been, I know we're doing like basketball. I watched a tennis documentary the other day called Breaking Points on Netflix. Dog, unreal. Teresa got mad at me because I explained it word for word to her for like an hour on the phone. And she was like, I can't hear any more about tennis. But dude, if you know Andy Roddick, which I grew up watching, he was a beast. And yeah, it's a good one. It talks about like the number one American tennis player and the pressure they have to deal with. And like one of the guys, Marty Fish, he like bloomed late in life. I think he entered his prime. Like Roddick, by the time Roddick was 30, he was done. Like his body just broke down. This guy didn't get good until he turned 30. And then he was dealing with like the pressure of being the number one American tennis player. Because, at the U.S. Open and stuff, they want Americans to do good because it's in America. And he just couldn't deal with the pressure. And
yeah, at that age, I mean, that's old to get into like, be the top athlete in your. I mean, I don't know how many. I don't know the average age of tennis players, but I can't imagine 30.
They start young. They start 16. You can turn.
A lot of the
pro,
ones I'm seeing these days, like that one girl that won a tournament recently, she was like 17
Okinawa, or I think.
I'm not sure. I thought it was like she was French or something.
Oh, I could be way off.
Like there was another 18-year-old dude too that won some giant tournament. Yeah. And the prizes, like the purses, whatever you want to call it, for these tennis matches or tournaments are fucking incredible.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty wild though. Like he was talking about the guy's name is Marty Fish. The documentary is Breaking Points. You should definitely check it out. But it's Andy Roddick has that killer mentality, like that Jordan mentality. This guy didn't, and he never had it. And Andy Roddick said, like, most of the time you're either born with it or you're not, and it never corrects itself. Is like Marty Fish corrected it the best I've ever seen anyone do. He said just one day he woke up, like he was in the hyperbolic chamber thing where it like speeds up your blood and makes you heal faster. And he said, dude, I'm 28. I'm on the backside of my prime. I'm going nowhere. Like I need to get this together. And he set out to lose like 12 pounds. And just over the summer, he just kept going. And he lost like 31 pounds and just went in and beat Federer in his prime. Like Federer. Federer's one of the greatest. He is the greatest ever. And just dominated. It's a really good documentary. I like tennis, so it was pretty good. But if you don't like tennis, I still think if you're a sports fan, you can still find.
I know 3 tennis players. You've named 2 of them. The other one,
Serena, Djokovic.
I mean, well, male. Yeah, I obviously know about Serena and who's her nemesis?
Maria Sharapova.
Beats? Yeah, like they're trying to be rivals, but like Sharapova gets her ass
kicked every time. They had beef too, dude. They dated the same guy. There's beef.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Sharapova's hot.
Smoke show.
She is pretty hot, but
she was on Sports Illustrated swimsuit.
Dude,
I remember I think I was in middle school.
Serena.
It was like right when I was getting interested.
Serena is the greatest female tennis player of all time. But dude, when I watched like a compilation of her highlights, she's so much stronger than everyone else. It's crazy how much faster she hits than any other female. Like,
no, she hits the ball. Like
she's a beast, dude. So, yeah, she was really good. And the fact she won a Grand Slam while she was pregnant, like,
yeah, that's some like God level stuff. Like,
yeah, she's really good.
I've seen a lot of pregnant women in my life, and I've never seen a pregnant woman do anything.
Most of them vomit. They don't tend to win.
Right.
Tennis championships.
Yeah, they just get angry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Serena's a different beast.
Shout
out to Serena.
Her and LeBron. Her and LeBron should have a baby.
Yeah.
He would probably be
Oh, you
a
set that up,
bum.
man.
He'd probably be a bum. He probably would like never live up to his, because that's normally how it
I feel
happens.
like they're both married with children.
Yeah,
at this point,
she's married the guy who invented Reddit, I think. So
I knew it was like a computer
Yeah.
nerd kind of guy. I knew
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't like an athletic.
No.
But
So those kids are gonna be really smart and play high school athletics, but not go on to college. They're gonna split the middle, basically.
why
yeah.
go to college?
Because they got nerd genes, and then they got
Oh, right. So like they're fully capable
yeah.
of doing it, but they're like, nah,
Dude, could you
it's
imagine?
all.
Can you imagine how much pressure that has to be? Like if you're Serena Williams and this Reddit guy, like they're billionaires. Both of them are individual billionaires, and
Is
you're
Serena
a kid. Yeah, dude, she's got to be. She's or at least she's close. She's
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I wouldn't.
does
I wouldn't
she,
think
I mean,
she's really-
obviously
Look
her
up
brand
how
is-
much she's
yeah,
worth.
I mean, her brand
it's got to be
is
500 million.
huge,
She's
yeah.
got to be worth at least 500 million.
The market in tennis is pretty crazy. Like, I mean, like just like the winners.
Dude, they make so much
and-
money.
and she wins everything. So
Because it's bigger. It's bigger in other
36.
countries. So
No, it's not.
no, it can't
It'd
be.
36
It ain't no
million.
36.
no, she made 36 million. in
Some of
one
these
tournament.
Google answers
Yeah.
are like wrong as hell.
Dog.
210 million.
Okay, so $250 million. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, those kids ain't going hungry. That's what I'm saying. Dog, we got to talk about Allen Iverson though.
Yeah, we have a bad habit.
Yeah, we
of-
do.
Yeah, it's always the beginning.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. I wanted to switch up the opening instead of being like "Hello and welcome."
Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah, I was
sure.
unprepared. What
Yeah.
did you say? You were,
I was just
you
like,
looked
dude,
straight at
we're
me. And
back.
you were like,
Yeah.
we're back.
Yeah,
Sam.
dude, we're
And I was
back.
like, yeah.
We're back. We're talking about Allen Iverson, the answer. Honestly, I don't like
What's
that
the
nickname.
question?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there was no question, but he's the
Yeah.
answer to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's a cooler nickname for Allen Iverson?
So you wrote Bubba Chuck.
That's his nickname.
People call him Bubba Chuck.
Only people
I
that
like-
really know Allen Iverson call him Bubba Chuck.
I would much rather hear Bubba Chuck than the answer. In any.
He probably has never answered to the answer. Like if someone down the street was like, "The answer."
Yeah, it just sounds stupid.
Yeah, it's just not a good.
That's not a nickname you call somebody. Like,
Yeah, he had two uncles. One was named Bubba. One was named Chuck. And I guess he got the nickname Bubba Chuck. So that's like an inside thing. Not a lot of people know about that.
yeah,
So I thought that would be pretty good.
it's nice that we're talking about the Sixers and their whole organization's burning to the ground right now. So that
Yeah.
we just get to take all the Philly fans that are out there listening. All maybe two of them.
No.
No, maybe I don't think we've ever had a listen in Pennsylvania. So
I mean, you know what? I wouldn't. Be
We have one in New
we can
Zealand.
safely shit on them.
we had one in New Zealand before we had one in Philly. Like that's crazy.
Shout out to
They're
New
busy.
Zealand.
They've been busy rioting ever since that playoff exit.
I reached out to Allen Iverson to see if he'd come on the podcast.
What did you DM him?
Yeah, DM'd him on Instagram, I think.
I'm sure that's right at the top of his to-do list to respond to that.
No, none of them do. None of them do ever.
You should just tell them like, hey, we just need like a couple minutes of your time. It'll be like a short little interview.
I would drive to Philly to interview with Allen. Of course. Like, why wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
but he doesn't want to take an hour of his time.
Right, his time.
He
is
just-
much more
he's like,
valuable
get,
than our
like-
time.
We'll hop on Zoom real fast.
Yeah, I'll hop on
record it,
Zoom.
and
Yeah.
I'll ask you like 2 questions. I'll be respectful of your time.
Yeah.
It'll only take a few minutes.
I just wanna find out, like, if he has like any regrets or because I feel like he could have played more. He only really had like 10 years that were because after that first year in Denver, his numbers dropped pretty
Yeah.
considerably.
I think the love of the game for him was a thing that kind of just. I think that very early, obviously, he was very passionate about it, but
Mhm.
I feel like the media, for sure, kind of took that away from him. I mean, they were really hard on him.
They were.
He hated losing. I mean, he was very competitive, and I feel like he just was like, do I like doing this anymore? No, not really.
I
I
didn't
think
realize he got traded mid-season.
Yeah, he got
Like, he started
traded.
struggling, and then
Yeah, I mean, well, the
And
team
got
the
traded.
team lost faith in you. I mean, I don't know.
I-
It sucks because
Well-
I mean, he would have been a great role player for any team. I mean,
I think the thing with Allen, I think his legacy, he's one of the most. It's the same word that you would use for Vince Carter, where he's like an icon. Yeah, that would be the word, icon. Allen Iverson's an icon.
Yeah.
But the advanced stats were never going to like Allen Iverson because he, at the end of the day, he wasn't the most efficient player in the world.
No, he was a showstopper. He was a guy that was gonna like put it up on the highlight reel. I watched a fucking video of him before the cornrows, man. He crossed up Jordan. He crossed up Jordan.
He did,
and it was like filthy.
Yeah, as a rookie.
You're right, exactly, and like
crossed Jordan right out of his shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I still to this day when I create a player in NBA 2K. Allen Iverson dribble pass.
He was also the first one to start wearing that sleeve.
Yeah.
I forgot
about
he started that.
Sure. He did. He's for sure an icon.
I forgot why he said he wore it. He gave an explanation as to why he wore it. I forgot what he said, but he was the first one to start that. And I mean, that by itself has got to be worth something.
Maybe he had like tennis elbow, you know.
Yeah, it was something like that.
He played the game hard. You know, I'm sure he landed on that elbow and fucking. You know,
that was the crazy thing I think about Allen Iverson is he was a point guard because I guess before that, point guards there was like pure point guards. You know, point guards like Chris Paul, Isaiah Thomas, guys like that. And Allen Iverson was really one of the first ones to be like, no, I'm the best player. I'm gonna take all the shots as a point guard. And he really kind of opened the door for like Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook and. Because before that, I don't think it had ever been done like that before. I could be wrong.
What was his rookie year?
His rookie year was 96, 97.
96, 97. Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't argue against that. I feel like he definitely was like one of the earlier prototypes for that. But who was on the Sixers scoring wise? Like who was leading the team in scoring back then? Because I couldn't tell you anybody on the team.
They had Eric Snow. Yeah, they had Mutombo.
Yeah,
he was good.
Yeah,
he was good.
Okay.
He was
pretty good.
That team, that 2001 team that made the finals, kind of gets misremembered as like Allen Iverson was the only thing on that team. Everyone else sucked. But Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year that year, and they had a couple guys. It wasn't a great team by any means. I still think it's the best carry job probably ever.
Yeah.
Because I would put it over LeBron in 2007. 2018 is kind of close because that Cavs team was trash in 2018. Mm-hmm. But they won a game on the Lakers, and the Lakers had not lost that whole postseason. That was prime Shaq, prime Kobe. Like, for him to win that game one. Like, imagine that. You're up 1-0 in the NBA Finals against one of the greatest teams ever. And your team is clearly inferior. Like that's got to be worth something.
No, I mean, yeah, he has to remember that pretty fondly. I mean, he obviously was gutted they lost, but like, in some level, he had to have known that, like, you know, they probably weren't going to win 4 games.
Something else that gets misremembered as well. One of, I guess, his most iconic photo is the photo of him stepping over Tyronn Lue. Mm-hmm. I went back and watched that game. Tyronn Lue was giving him the business. Like Tyronn Lue was literally just he even got braids to imitate Allen Iverson because he knew he would have to play defense on him. Literally, Allen Iverson could not get separated from him, and then finally Allen Iverson gives him the cross and then shoots and then steps over him. But before that, it was all Tyronn Lue.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
I feel like most people these days that weren't, you know, younger people, they probably just assume. I probably just assumed that he just shit on him all game. I mean, the way he was looking at him, he was looking at Ty Lue like you were a piece of garbage.
Yeah,
Ty Lue was a baller, man.
Yeah, he was. He was pretty good role player. Allen Iverson for his career, 26.7 points per game. That's a lot higher than I thought it would be.
That's really high.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Like,
that's like Brown level.
That's like up there with.
That's
got to be top 10, like in NBA history, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Career point.
Top 10 might be a little.
I don't know. I think it might be because so many of these superstars, it's more like 24-ish because they'll have like long. 5 years where they average 15 points.
That's true. He also averaged 3.7 rebounds a game for a guy who's under 6 foot.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he was tenacious. That was for damn.
6.2 assists, 42.5% shooting per his career. Not great.
Yeah.
31.3% from 3.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
like. And I feel like I mean, he was just taking inefficient shots. He took a lot of mid-range shots.
A lot of tough mid-ranges.
I mean, and now, maybe it wasn't frowned upon back then, but now everybody knows through analytics that is a terrible shot.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I wonder how his style of play would be different if he had coaches that were, privy to, the don't take mid-range shots. Basically.
I don't know how he would be now.
Well, being an undersized guy, he probably just, you don't want to take it to the basket.
I kind of feel like he would, his assist numbers would go up and his scoring would go down, and like his ability to beat the defender, his defender to cross him over or get by him or whatever would just lead to, swinging it or something like that.
There's better spacing.
Yeah.
He would have to work on his 3-point shot.
Yeah, the 3-point shooting is not like 31.5% or 31.3.
I see a path to him being maybe not as good, but certainly I think he would still be good. But I think he played in the correct era because that's what he was a tough shot taker.
I think so because I'm sitting here trying to justify if Allen Iverson was playing today, and he couldn't shoot as many mid-range shots, but that really was his bread and butter.
That's what he's good at. He was good at
what you're good at, and the same thing kind of goes for Kobe, even though Kobe was a much better 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I think Kobe's game would have translated a lot better.
I think so. But Allen Iverson was a great passer. So I think in today's NBA with the spacing, if he wanted to, he could have 10 assists per game seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was a 4-time scoring champ. 99, 01, 02, and 05. And he also was a 3-time steal champ, 3 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
01, 02, 03. That's pretty. I did not know that.
No, that's huge.
So he was actually a pretty good
defender. Do you think he was all around?
He's probably terrible defender. He's just too small. At the end, of, Steve Nash was 6'4", a terrible defender. I think unfortunately with Allen Iverson, you have to go. All right, well we know he's going to get us 30, but he's also going to give up 25 on the other end. He's just too small.
Yeah.
That's why he had to lead the league in steals. You got to go for the steals. You don't take the ball from them.
Yeah, when you're that small, you have to be a risk taker. You have to be pesky. You have to make them think twice about putting the ball on the ground.
Bill Simmons said that he went to an Allen Iverson game. He was like, Allen Iverson was the type of player where if you look at the percentages and stuff, you're like, all right, well, he shot a lot. That's why he scored a lot. But he was one of those players where you had to see him in person to understand just how big of a deal he was. He carried himself like he was a 7-footer, even though he's 5'10", And he said the game he went to, the ref called or was about to call a technical on him, and Allen Iverson gave him a stare. And the ref literally pulled his whistle down and didn't call it. That's what Bill Simmons said. He said, I swear to God, that happened. He was I watched it happen. Allen Iverson was just different. Yeah, I know.
You're the fucking ref. You can't make
man,
calls.
There was that video of and they had the audio too. It was Michael Jordan. They were asking him. The ref was asking him he was about to call a foul on Mike. That's what it was. And no, on the other guy.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I believe you, Mike.
Did he get you? Did he get you? Okay.
Oh yeah, he's like,
yeah. Okay. That doesn't make you look as much of a bitch.
He went behind. He was like, I didn't see it, but I believe you, Mike.
Yeah. All right, Michael's not gonna lie. You,
bro. Speaking of which, I'm so sick of these old heads. Rasheed Wallace coming out and saying, dude, LeBron wouldn't have been as good in my era. And it's bro, you came into the league in '95. LeBron came in 2000. You guys played in the same era. What are you talking about? He's so delusional. They literally played together in playoff games, and LeBron beat him. And it's how can you say that?
They have to.
Yeah, they have to.
Their ego just makes them say it. They just sit at home drunk watching his highlights and be like,
now,
no fucking way he'd done that to me. He did, though.
Rasheed Wallace would have been better in today's era, by far, I think. Because he was the first 3-point shooting big, He was the first guy who was hitting 100.
Yeah, he would have been allowed to do more of that.
Yeah.
So, for sure.
I think he would have had a longer career because, if you can shoot, They want you on the court. So I think he would have been every bit as good, probably even better, because he could really shoot. He was shooting left hand in the All-Star game and making them. Like, he was a beast. Yeah. There was that one, I think it was in 07 or 08. They went to All-Star game and he only shot left-handed, and he made like most of them. He was a beast.
That's so cocky.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson.
Larry Bird did the same thing
in a
playoff game.
Yeah, against Portland.
Saving my right hand for Indiana or whoever it was.
There was one game Larry Bird played, and he walked by the bench of the other team and was like, I feel like 43 points tonight. And he checked himself out of third quarter with 43 points. It's like,
That's nice.
yeah, dude.
It was just right.
The Larry Bird stories, the Larry Bird stories are the best stories
they're
ever.
really good. Yeah.
Allen Iverson came in 96 draft, which was probably the greatest draft ever. I mean, 03 was in 85 or 84, the one Jordan came in.
Who
But
else was in the 96 draft?
Kobe came in that draft,
Okay.
13th pick. Steve Nash came in that draft. Ray Allen came in that draft. And then there was a couple other.
Yeah, I remember this
players.
now. It's coming back to me.
Yeah,
We talked about it during the Kobe episode.
yeah. And Allen Iverson won Rookie of the Year.
There's a lot of MVPs in that draft. A lot of league MVPs. Like, I mean, the next decade, probably the majority of those MVPs belonged to people from the 96 draft, wouldn't you say? Like the next decade after 96. You know,
So like 2000 to
Nash.
2010.
When did Steve Nash win his MVPs? When did Kobe just
5 and 6, right?
5 and 6?
Yeah, 2005, 2006.
So,
yeah.
And then AI won 01, 02. Or is it 2000,
He
2001?
only 2000 to 2001 he won.
Yeah, that's a good
Tim
draft.
Duncan won a bunch of MVPs.
Yeah.
I think he won 2 or 3. I think he won 2. Yeah, man, it was hard to get an MVP back then because you had Shaq too.
Yeah.
Shaq only got 1 MVP.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy that Steve Nash has 2 MVPs and Kobe and Shaq had 1 apiece.
You put him on a list next to other players who have at least 2 MVPs, and he does not belong. with these guys.
Steve Nash, though, honestly, I want to break down Steve Nash eventually because he gets disrespected so much, and he was a baller back in the day. He just never won, you know. And it's hard to
50,
win,
40, 90.
bruh. He was
Larry
so
Bird was the
efficient.
inventor of the
Yeah.
50, 40, 90, but Steve Nash was like the next guy after him probably to do it consistently.
If Steve Nash would have played in this era, they'd have been like, dude, you got to shoot more.
Yeah.
You got to take these open
Oh, yeah.
threes. Like you can't just pass up. It's almost selfish that you're not shooting these shots. So it's like I think he would have been so much better because he played in the original Rockets offense, which Mike D'Antoni, which was you play fast, shoot the ball, you know, and they just didn't push it far enough. I think if they'd have pushed it even farther, they probably would have got past the Spurs. Mike D'Antoni's like 5-0 all time against the Spurs. Never beat Greg Popovich in a playoff series.
D'Antoni gets disrespected.
He does. He's a good coach.
He's an excellent coach.
He's a good offensive coach.
Great offensive coach.
Defensively, things are left to be desired.
Well, I mean, fuck, you can
Yeah.
hire somebody for that.
Yeah.
But he's such a good offensive.
Well, when you play that way, it's going to be difficult to translate that to
Yeah.
defense. I mean, it's
I
gonna be
think
a
that's
tough
true.
task.
Like you're increasing the pace of the game. It makes it look worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have at least, you have to have the guys for that. So he wants to get the guys for, obviously his offense.
You're giving the other team like 10 more possessions in a game.
Think about it. Like the West back in like the 2000s was so hard to win. Like the Lakers, you had the Spurs, Phoenix was really good. Then you had who was trying to think of who the other team was. Denver was always pretty good. They had Carmelo. Like the West back then, dude, to win, that was during a prime Tim Duncan and a prime Kobe, prime Shaq. Like it's hard
How
to
many
win.
playoff series did Carmelo win?
Not many.
I don't. Yeah, I was about to say I don't remember.
He got to the Western Conference Finals in 2009, I want to say, against Kobe, and they lost.
How do you do in the? Dude, we should do Carmelo. He's not retired yet.
No, he's
but
not. Well, he did retire for a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't guess when people are going to retire. Dude.
No.
He's
done.
come in and out of
They win a
retirement.
ring.
Like,
They win a ring this year. He's done.
yeah.
He's got.
Oh yeah.
There's
Kidding
nothing
me?
left
That's
for
all
him
he's
to do.
waiting
Oh, he's gonna get one this
I
year.
mean, his story is written anyway.
No, he's gonna get one this year, dude.
Dude,
AD's looking thick too. AD's been in the weight room. Dude, I'm so pumped.
That's just more stress on his knees.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I bet his bones didn't get any thicker.
Yeah, like
Dude,
he's
this
gonna,
is
you know,
this
Those
has
ligaments
got to be
didn't
the
get any
year.
thicker.
It almost feels like destiny. Every time LeBron gets a large amount of rest, he always comes back.
right. They're definitely gonna load manage the shit out of him if AD can stay healthy. If AD can stay healthy to where they can maintain their,
I don't
they're gonna
I
have
don't think
great-
they want to load manage LeBron though, because he's still got to beat Kareem's record.
Yeah, I just but like
You
he's
think
also
that's really like
gonna
what
get
they're-
hurt.
I don't think
To
that's-
LeBron, that's a big dog. There's no way LeBron James
He'll play another
doesn't.
couple. You know, he'll
He's
play
got-
as many seasons as
He's got to
needs
average
play.
18 points over the next 2 years to break Kareem's record.
Dude, he will do
Yeah,
that.
he will.
Like
He's
it-
gonna
that's
average
not
like
even,
25
That's not
this
even a
year.
concern. Like,
No, like they're
he'll
his
do
only
it
concern
without
is
them
still
trying. Like
another
you can load manage LeBron. He'll still average 25 points per game
Yeah.
over the next 2 years.
I think so.
And he'll break Kareem's record.
I think he will.
Oh, for sure.
Well, yeah, he's going to break that
And
record.
if he doesn't in the next couple of years, he'll play an extra season.
I think
Dude,
he's
he's
got
gonna
to
play until he's
break that record.
45, like Tom Brady.
I think he's going to play until his kid comes into the league, and he's going to pass the torch to his kid, type of deal. That's what
His
that's what I
kid's
think he
gonna
wants to do.
suck.
Oh, his kid's not going to be as good as
a very
him.
hot take. I agree with Sam. I think he's gonna be buns. And I've seen him play. I think D Wade's son's better.
D Wade's son's a
Ooh.
beast.
He is, dude.
D Wade's
his
son,
name.
Did they?
yeah,
Zaire?
Zaire. I want
Yeah,
to say.
I was about to say, as soon-
Zion.
No,
Yeah.
Watching the what team was it they played on together? I don't know. It was they'll be like on TV and shit.
Mhm.
Like I like D Wade's son's game a lot, and I've
Mhm.
seen D Wade's son playing against D Wade and like 1-on-1.
I
and,
saw
like,
that too.
It was funny because D Wade was not giving him anything.
He was like, dude, we only play jump shots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was like, oh, I never played that
his
version of
son was getting
basketball.
so mad, but he was acting like he really wasn't all that mad. But he was so.
Oh, dude, he
he's
was
like,
so
you beat
pissed.
me off a back bounce. Congratulations.
Yeah, his kid's gonna be legit.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Bron's kid is probably look. You can't live up to.
Right. He's pretty like.
He's athletic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
He's small though. He's
he
only
is,
like
he's a little
6'3"
smaller,
or something.
But like he's definitely built. Like I think LeBron's got him in the weight room. I think but like again, yeah, it's impossible to live up to that. Like there's just no
Bro,
fucking way. And his name's Bronny for
Yeah.
God's sake.
dude,
Yeah.
dude, don't you love how
God,
That
he
is
said
so like.
he said
you know that he's gonna have a hard time living up to your shit. You know he's gonna want to play ball, and then you're gonna give him the name. It's a sick name. I like the name Bronny.
yeah,
I don't like it.
dude.
Really?
They
It's like
said
Bronny sounds like Bunny. I don't know, like
they
I don't know, man. I
he
like
said
it.
sounds like little mini LeBron.
They said
little
that-
Bronny, just
they said that Bronny didn't want to wear 23 because he didn't want to
I
be
saw that.
confused with his father. It's like
Yeah.
now checking into the game, LeBron James Jr. Who's that?
Yeah, who's that guy? No, but like what position does he play? Because he is a good bit
I feel
smaller.
like he's
Like,
a shooting guard. isn't
he's
he?
a shooting guard.
I think he's gonna get taller.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Savannah James she's pretty athletic and she's pretty tall too.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the time I see her, she's like wearing high heels and shit too. But, like,
It's just a lot of pressure, man.
it
it's
is.
just
It is,
too much.
absolutely. But did you hear about him getting caught
Smoking weed?
the reefer?
Yeah, I saw it. He did it on Instagram Live. Like, dude,
Are you serious?
yeah, he did it during the bubble, and LeBron posted a video of him like he didn't say anything, but he was like playing a harmonica or something. Everyone was like, dude,
Right,
LeBron, yeah, they were. It was pretty like stupid of him
He
to
would.
do.
I don't think
Bronny was
would.
playing the harmonica on Instagram Live. What are you talking about?
No, it's pretty stupid of the kid to smoke weed on. Like, why would you do that?
No, you said
No, LeBron was playing the harmonica online like the next day after that story broke, and everyone was like, is LeBron trying to say something? Because he was in Orlando and his family was in LA and they couldn't see each other. So
wait.
they're like, they want the series to keep going, so LeBron
Right,
won't. Yeah.
yeah.
So LeBron won't be upset with him when he gets home, but I'm sure they had a stern talking
Well, I'm
to.
sure the only thing he even talked to him about was like, "You dummy! Like,
Yeah,
don't
like,
do
why
it
are you
online.
doing that?
Like, I understand. Do what you got to do. I'm sure LeBron smokes a little reefer every now and then.
Yeah,
There was a thing in a Cleveland Indians game. I remember a long time ago. I think it was around 2018. I want to say it was around there. He was definitely at the Cavaliers. But they were saying that Savannah James was like smoking at the ballpark, like the Cleveland Indians ballpark.
probably. Yeah,
And like I I didn't. It looked like it, but like I didn't believe it. Who the fuck smoked? You can't smoke in a ballpark. Like, I mean, I don't
I'm
know.
sure
It
they
was
figured
a
out
vape or
something.
something,
Yeah.
but like, I'm sure they smoked. But like, come on, Bronny.
Yeah, he's got to be smarter. Like, just don't do it online. Like, if you're going to, first of all, he's 16, you probably shouldn't be doing it anyway.
Right.
But if you are going to do it, don't put it online.
That,
like, bro, we got sponsors and money on the line. Like, what are you, like, what are you doing?
Well, he was like he's like a professional, like on a professional
video
team.
game thing.
I don't know if it's FaZe Clan or what, but like he was playing it like professionally too.
Mhm.
Like,
I mean, if you're LeBron, part of LeBron. Like, I understand the younger generation is making money, but part of LeBron's got to be like, dude, if you don't get off those fucking video games and go outside and practice that broke jumper, he has to be thinking that like a little bit. Just as like, I think every dad is kind of like that when they see a kid playing video games. What's he doing over there? Is he wasting time? But now you can make like a bunch of money off of it. So it's like, it's not really a waste of time.
LeBron grew up rough.
Yeah. Dude, his rent was $17 a month.
Huh?
LeBron, when this was to me one of the craziest stories from LeBron is he lived like with his mom and I guess they were switching apartments all the time. He said his apartment in the projects was $17 a month. And they were like, how are we going to afford this? And then he met with Reebok. And the owner of Reebok, wrote him a $10 million check and said, just don't talk to Nike. And he, you're a 17-year-old kid. You get a $10 million check. He turned it down.
Yeah, it's hard.
Now, next day, he signed a $100 million contract with Nike. But still,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He had to have known. He's a smart guy.
I'm sure he did.
They're saying, please don't speak.
But could you imagine, though, like, I don't know, for me, even though I know I got like another meeting lined up, someone's offered me $10 million and I ain't had shit. It's hard to turn that down,
For sure. I mean, you gotta have a.
What would happen if he took it and then talked to Nike?
I'm sure there would have probably been lawsuits. There probably would have been something.
Bad idea.
But Allen Iverson, 2-time All-Star MVP. How often does that happen?
Yeah. I feel like there's other guys who've done that.
There's other guys.
Hasn't Russell Westbrook won two?
Really?
I think he's been an All-Star MVP.
I think he's won two.
Two?
I want to say. He always balls out in All-Star games.
Yeah, he does.
He scores 40.
He was 2000, 2001 MVP. That was the year they made the finals as well. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I thought.
Wait, sorry. Are you saying he won it twice?
He won it twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
2001, 2005.
Yeah.
Which is pretty. I mean, I always know like people win one All-Star MVP, but for him to win two.
I'm talking about MVP. He won.
Oh no, he only won one MVP.
One MVP. Okay.
Yeah. 2000, 2001.
I got you. That one season, 2000, 2001 season.
Yeah. He. I thought Shaq should have been the MVP because Shaq was unbelievable during that stretch. But now looking back on it, it probably should have went to Allen Iverson. He led that team all the way. I know the MVP is a regular season award, but I always look at it and I go,
why
this
don't
guy
they
should
just
be
wait longer?
Yeah, I
don't understand.
And
every single
because it would have been
the same way.
It would have been LeBron the last decade.
Exactly. Like it is bullshit.
I'm still not over that 2018. Bro. 2018 should have gotten the MVP.
And it's like a nice little 1 week after the season, everybody gets together for the awards ceremony type of thing.
Yeah, they should do that. The MVP, they need to change what the MVP. They need to change it because most valuable can be interpreted so many different.
Well, that's why there's arguments about it. That's why you can make a case for a few different players. But like MLB does, it's stupid to me because they do the NL MVP, AL MVP, they do the NLCS MVP, they do the ALCS MVP. Mm-hmm. Like there's no fucking need.
There's too many MVPs.
And then there's the postseason MVP, and then there's the World Series MVP. Bro, you're just fucking throwing them out, and like the same guy probably gonna win. They balling out, but like it doesn't make any sense. So I don't want to see that. But like if there was like a regular season MVP
and then a
postseason
playoff
MVP, I wouldn't be too mad at that.
No, because there's got to be.
That would be pretty interesting.
Because how many times have we seen like the regular season MVP flame out in the playoffs,
right.
and then you're like, well, how is this guy the most valuable if he can't show up?
You can't even. You can't even on a good team when like AI took just a shit team, and Mutombo at that point had to have been old as shit.
Nah, he was defensive player of the year that year in 2001. That team kind of gets scoring wise. There was nothing.
Probably not. But I mean, shit. I mean, if you're the defensive player of the year, I mean, you've done what you
do. Like you're doing your job.
Right. It's a big, especially back then.
I do like the idea of splitting it up though, playoff MVP, regular season, because I feel like if you just did one MVP and you waited until after the finals, there would just be way too much bias towards whoever just won a championship.
Oh yeah, that's probably the reason they do it, because like everybody would completely forget the guy that carried his team.
Somebody averaged 35 points in the regular season and didn't win the championship.
Playoff games, compared to 82 regular season games.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, could be like 20 something.
Right. So I mean,
I mean, it's like during Jordan won 5 MVPs, but Karl Malone and Charles Barkley won I think Karl Malone won 2 MVPs and Charles Barkley won 1. But it's like now that we look back on it, Jordan should have got those. You know what I'm saying? Like now looking back on it, you're like, no, Michael Jordan's the best player of that era. Like he should have got those MVPs because he made his team the most valuable. Like it's just like one of those things where it becomes like a narrative thing with the media. You notice how the media is pushing Luka? Like the media's like Luka's favored to win MVP this year. It's like, brother, hadn't even played a game. How do you know that? Like,
they were on the Slovenia train.
Yeah, they are,
which was cool to see. I mean, I enjoyed watching that, and he took them, way farther than they've ever been. But at the same time, like, where did they go in the playoffs?
First round exit.
Right.
But how much of that is on Luka?
No, I mean, exactly. I mean, Porzingis needs to be slapped in his. Someone needs to get a step ladder and just beat that man.
They should have got rid of
that man. Until he just stops being such a soft little guy.
He is soft.
Like, how are you that goddamn big? I'm sorry. Like, how are you that big? I've seen a video of him getting beat up by a regular person in where's he from?
Russia somewhere, right? Dagestan or Russia somewhere.
Yeah, I always want to say Slovenia. Like, that's definitely.
Yeah, he's Russian.
But no, like he got a shirt yanked and his face bloodied up. Like, you are so big. This is that, and like little did we know that was going to be a precursor to his pussy ass NBA career.
Well, he also had a major.
I was excited when he went to the Mavs.
He had a major knee injury. Yeah, I mean, because when he was on the Knicks, he was the real deal. I mean, Kevin Durant called him a unicorn, and Kevin Durant is a unicorn. But then that knee injury.
Yeah, I definitely had high. I mean,
Kevin Durant likes to bitch about his nicknames and like the Durantula, and then he gives somebody the nickname Unicorn.
I like the Slim Reaper. I thought that was a good
Slim Reaper's good.
Yeah. Slim Reaper, like that was pretty. But
he probably came up with that on one of his burner accounts.
I like Durantula though.
Durantula, I actually thought that was a pretty good one too. I remember
it's funny
when he first started getting nicknames. They wanted to call him the Servant because he serves people, but then there was like a whole like you don't want to call a black person a servant type of deal.
Well, you know what I mean. I would be mad about that as a white man. Like you call like anybody like. Boo! You can't come up with something better than that.
I didn't think it was that good of a nickname to me. I like Slim Reaper.
He's a sauceless dude. Like he's a if he wasn't a baller, he'd be a loser. Like I mean, look at him. I mean, he just seems like a guy that has like no confidence. He's on burner accounts, like arguing with people on Twitter. Even on his regular account, he's just like arguing with like.
That
like
might
us.
be
like, bro. You shouldn't be associating with us.
That's
you should insult Kevin Durant to lure him in. And then invite him on the podcast to defend himself.
If I'm going to insult Kevin Durant, it's not going to be about basketball because on the court, unbelievable. Right. I mean, all that insecurity and shit is off when he's on the court.
You should tell him that Steph Curry carried him to those championships.
He could just like show you a stat line. He just screenshots and shit.
He would just be like, "Oh, that's crazy. I got 2 of those Finals MVPs over here."
He's pretty funny on the internet. I'll give him that. I'm glad he does do the shit he does. He's pretty funny. Like people will tell him like why are you doing this, and he'll just come back and like make fun of their profile picture.
I kind of understand. I kind of understand like him, like the way he feels because he's like, dude, hold up now. I won an MVP in 2014 when LeBron was still in his prime. I beat Bron 2 times in the NBA Finals. Hit the shot over him 2 times. Got Finals MVP. Like, what else do I need to do? Now, looking back on it now, yeah, it's like, bro, you also had the 2 greatest teams ever constructed. Like,
well, that and the way that the floor spacing was on those teams,
it's
like
insane, dude. They're guarding Steph Curry at half court.
OKC. I don't care if him and Russell were both going crazy. I don't care if him, Russell, and Jim Harden was going crazy. Wouldn't have mattered. They can't space the floor like that. They're all the same type of player.
James Harden, right?
No, I like Jim.
Oh, you go. Oh, I thought you did on purpose. or by accident.
Yeah, no, his name's Jim.
Allen Iverson, 11-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA. Led the league in missed shots 4 times.
Nice.
99, 2000, 2003, and 2005.
Dude.
That man was missing some shots. But he made a lot, too, though. Yeah, I mean, he played 12 seasons with Philly, averaged 27.6 points a game. And then with Denver, 3 seasons with Denver, really only 1 full season, though, because he got traded midseason, stayed a whole season, then got traded midseason again.
Do you know who was involved in that trade?
Who the players were? I know Chauncey Billups was involved when he got traded from Denver to Detroit. As far as who got traded, I don't know who got traded when he went to Philly.
I was just interested to see because, I mean, like, his numbers had dropped off a little bit, but, like, I mean, it didn't seem like mid-season trade kind of.
Well, that's what you so like the first time he got traded, it went from 33 points a game to 26.3, which, like, you're still averaging 26.
And you got Carmelo on your team, so you know,
right?
So really, honestly, he was still in his prime at that point. But then that next year,
no, I'm talking about Philadelphia to Denver.
Yeah, I'm saying he was still like that's still prime.
But yeah, I mean, so both of the other trade, he went from 26.4 to 17.5.
Yeah.
So the 2 times he had a drop off, he just immediately got traded.
No, he played with Memphis in 09-10 for 3 games. And then they traded him to Philly, and he finished out his career in Philly.
Damn.
But 13.8 points a game, and then he went to Turkey.
He probably wasn't willing to play the role they were.
He wasn't.
You know that had.
He didn't want to be a backup.
Dude, how you should have looked up his
numbers in Turkey. Yeah, they had a link to it, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it because I know it's
weight
bad.
Does it really hold?
Yeah.
You know that Big 3 thing, like the Ice Cube little league that they do during the summer. Big 3, you know what I'm talking about? 3-on-3 basketball. I went to go watch, like, Allen Iverson was the coach of some team and player. I went to go watch, and I was like, I'm gonna get to see Allen Iverson play. Like, this is crazy. He's like 40, but I'm sure he can still ball. Garbage. So bad. By far the worst player on the court. Not even close. Insane how bad he was.
I didn't want to hear that.
I'm just gonna I gotta be honest. Like,
yeah, I guess
he just didn't care.
He seemed like he didn't, and I mean, he threw up 1 shot and he airballed it by like 5 feet, and didn't shoot again. And I think he turned the ball over a couple times. Like he was so. I was like, what am I watching?
That's crazy.
And like everybody was there to see him. That's the other thing. Like everybody in that arena.
Who else was playing?
So actually, shout out Eddie Basden, former UNC Charlotte. Okay. He played for the Bulls for like a year. He was actually in the Big 3 that year. I can't remember though. Like it was a bunch of NBA vets and
a bunch of
old guys. Who's that one guy that played? He played in the NBA for like a long time, and then like he went nuts in the Big 3 too.
Steven Jackson.
No.
Brian Scalabrine.
No. Damn, man, I can't think of his name. He could shoot. He was a big man. He could kind of shoot pretty good though. He had a little bit of handles.
I'd have to see.
And they were talking about how he could still be like a role player on like.
Amari Stoudemire.
No, I know I'm gonna know it as soon as I hear it. I feel stupid for not, because I just saw this recently. But the Big 3, I mean, it's pretty entertaining to watch.
It's really entertaining.
It's good TV.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't mind it. Whenever it comes on, anyway.
Allen Iverson should not play.
No, he shouldn't. Dude, he's also got, like, he's something about Allen Iverson. Like I was watching like interviews with him and stuff, and he is. I don't know if his eyes are bigger than what I thought they were. Like his eyes are huge, and there's something about him that like draws you. Like you want to listen to everything he says for some reason. I don't know why he's like that, but even people forget. Like obviously he had one of the greatest sports rants of all time. You know, like is it practice? Yeah,
yeah, and I agree. You know,
yeah.
Shut the fuck up about practice.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the whole thing is that got like you know, like they made it seem like it was just that little sound bite.
No, it was a
But,
lot
like,
more though.
right?
Yeah.
And like, dude was going through a real rough time.
Yeah, he really was. That's the thing that, like, if you listen to the rest of that speech, you're like,
right. I always thought it was like, oh, practice, and it was just funny, like practice. We're talking practice, but like, and then I wouldn't watch the whole thing, and I was like, get off this man's dick.
Yeah, like he was talking about like he sees everything that people say about him, and it hurts him, and
Right.
like he was being real. Yeah,
like they just
that was the thing about Allen Iverson is he gave off that vibe of like, hey, I'm a tough guy, but like really he was very easy to connect with.
He wore his emotions on his sleeve.
He did do that. He definitely did do that. I think a lot of people too at that time, that was really the era where hip hop kind of came in with the NBA. Like before that, it really wasn't. And then I'd say like 99 to 2000 and whatever, like hip hop started becoming like the culture of the NBA. And there was some resistance to it there for a while.
This is a baggy clothes there.
Yeah.
And those baggy suits were fucking hilarious.
Bro.
Back in, like Carmelo Anthony.
It was crazy.
Oh my god, like it was the funniest. If you look back on that now, like
dude, even watching Jordan, like Jordan has no style whatsoever.
Like, he wears mom jeans.
Dude, when he's wearing those suits, it's like, dude, what are you? What he was so cool on the court, and he had so much swag. But man, when he dressed up, it was terrible.
Yeah,
he'd wear that like that hat, that black hat that was like a like a French hat or whatever. Lapel, I think it's what it's called.
I think it is.
Mm-hmm. It just looked terrible. Like, what is he doing? But Allen Iverson, I think he's the reason why they instituted the dress code as well.
Why would he wear?
Oh, dude. Well, so he got into it was really that, and it was also the Malice in the Palace. Like, I think the Malice in the Palace was that was really when they were like, we got to clean, we got to start cleaning this shit up. And but Allen Iverson kind of took the fall, I guess. Like he was like really the first guy who it got known as the Allen Iverson rule, I guess, where they instituted the dress code.
Yeah, somebody got punched in the face and beer got thrown. Let's blame the way they dress. That's
not it's not great. It's definitely not great. But that was what they did because
we can't have hip hop influence. Like, this guy fucking threw a beer at this guy's head. Like,
yeah, that's true.
What do you want? I still haven't watched that documentary.
I watched it. I watched it.
You should watch it.
It's actually pretty good. I watched it twice actually.
Yeah, I can't imagine being anything less than sensational.
The only thing I didn't like was when Steve Jackson was like, "Man, I was on the block." Like, all right, Steve. Like, no, you're a millionaire.
I'll leave him.
I think he was kind of playing.
I mean, it is crazy.
It does change your opinion on what the second time.
Going back to a lot of those news snippets, especially the
they
one
use the
where
thug word a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's when it was still okay.
Yeah.
Air quotes to use the.
Yeah, it wasn't quite like the N word.
It's almost. I mean, it's basically like a racial slur if used in certain contexts.
But also, I don't like Jermaine O'Neal that much because he's like, dude, it really stunted my career. It's like, bro, you got suspended for 25 games. All right, if you were like, come on, you know.
Well, I mean, I think you're right though. I mean, I think the I think the NBA had a wide audience that it was trying to appeal to, and between the Malice and at the Palace, and some of these superstars, obviously it's wrong, and there's nothing wrong about somebody dressing a certain way.
No.
But they were clearly trying to appease a wide audience.
Yeah, because the NBA
that just associated that type of, those types of clothes with gangs and whatnot.
Yeah, and the NBA at the time was kind of going through like not that the league was failing, but it was not, Jordan had retired. They had the lockout year in 98, 99. And then the hip hop culture starts to come in, and the NBA didn't do a good job. They kind of blamed it on the players, which I guess, like at the time, they're probably like, look, these guys are professionals. They should have, the fans, like that dude who threw the beer specifically.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, that dude did not even care.
Oh, I mean, the fans, well, okay, so speaking about the actual, like, what did the players do wrong? Ron Artest basically caused everything. Like, you could basically say...
I think Ben Wallace.
Basically caused.
Ben Wallace.
See, now I'm trying to remember how it went down. So
Ben Wallace
Ron
shouldn't have
Artest
reacted.
made the hard foul.
Yeah, hard foul. Kind of a hard foul. I don't think it was
Ben
that
Wallace shouldn't have reacted. The game was over.
The game was over.
Ron Artest was just trying to hurt him.
It was a hard foul,
And then
but it was nothing malicious, or at least it didn't look.
It was pretty malicious.
You think so?
I think it was pretty.
I mean,
malicious.
he didn't get knocked out. I mean, it was definitely a hard foul.
He was not going for the ball. He brought his whole arm down across his head from behind. Like there was no. It was. I don't know. I thought it was completely. I thought Ron Artest started the whole thing. I thought Ron Artest.
Ben Wallace started throwing shit. Because he wore 4 million arm sleeves, and he would just take them off and throw them. And I think when you got a fan base of drunk people, because everyone's drunk there. I mean, it's Detroit, and you're throwing stuff. The people in the fans see that, or the people in the crowd see that. They start throwing stuff. I honestly put most of the blame on the security, though. The fact that they didn't even know who Reggie Miller was, like that security. They only had 2 security people. And there's 30,000 drunk people in the crowd. That's just bad.
I mean, it was amazing to listen to some of the news clips and just how people were really acting like the players were just as much to blame for that as the fans. Like that is absurd. They threw beer at Ron Artest.
Right, like just think about yourself as a human being.
Yeah, like if I get a bottle of beer thrown at me, I have no idea what I would do. Like,
right. Tyreek Hill got a beer thrown in his face. It was a Bud Light fucking Platinum too. Of all disrespectful shit.
We hold these athletes up on a different pedestal, and it's like they're expected to just be saints, and if they're not, then they're thugs, right? It's ridiculous. I mean,
right. You get any of those NFL executives, owners, any of those NBA, all of those guys, their egos are huge. You throw a beer at one of those important sons of bitches, they're gonna fucking kick your ass or have somebody. I mean, they're not.
They have you executed.
Right, exactly. They'd be like, this poor person just threw beer on me. Like that, you can't expect an athlete that's out there like already all that adrenaline,
and he's got mental problems as well.
Who?
Ron Artest has got mental problems.
Yeah, fair enough. But
no, I'm saying though, but like everyone knew that at the time. Everyone knew Ron Artest was a loose cannon at that point. And for that guy to throw that
if you're
beer,
just gonna take your life in your own hands, and
I think you're right about Ben Wallace. Jermaine O'Neal just punched a dude who came on the court and was like, "Comment." Like, I don't blame I don't think.
No, I don't think Jermaine O'Neal should have got any time. To be honest, looking back on it, because what's he supposed to? Maybe a couple games. Because what's he supposed to do? He's got to defend. If you don't stand with your team, then you're that guy who didn't stand with your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more of an impact on your career than a suspension for sure. Like no one's gonna want to play with you if you're just letting your teammates.
Yeah.
Like Steven Jackson was on go mode.
He was ready to fight the second.
Steven Jackson was pretty bad.
Steven Jackson wanted to fight when he showed up to the arena. Like the way he just flat out just was like, let's go right now.
We hear like Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook got somebody, I forget what, I think one of his Denver was yelling racial stuff at
Utah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Like that.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what they were yelling at Steven Jackson and Jermaine being back? Like
it was bad. There's no doubt about it.
He was probably ready to fight, and it was probably justified. Like I can't imagine. I mean, obviously the NBA it's been pretty marred in some racist shit. I mean, you look at the Celtics, Bill Russell not wanting to have his Hall of Fame or his
It's
retired
it's
shit.
the blackest sport, but the audience is
Yeah.
still like half white people,
Right.
at least.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
probably
and back
well,
then,
well,
It's probably
than that.
more.
Like
Yeah,
two-thirds,
back then.
two-thirds.
So like,
Back then, yeah,
It's like that
What if
with
you know-
every sport, though. I mean, every sport. If you look in the crowds, it's mainly white people in the crowds that are watching.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know, man. Like it's just if I was Steven, it's just hard to blame any of the players in that situation. I mean, like, yeah, you got to take some accountability. But, like,
yeah, they should have got some.
somebody
Yeah.
somebody does some shit like that to me, I'm kicking their ass, and I don't care who you are. I don't care about the repercussions. I'm gonna see red. I'm just gonna get you. Like it doesn't matter. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
it was
like,
rough.
I paid money to do it. Like, fuck you. I'm fucking out here busting my ass. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty crazy for that dude to. And then for when Ron Artest went to the stands and then like grabbed the wrong guy.
that's some pretty funny shit.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, imagine just being a guy sitting there and like, yeah, Ron Artest, I love you, and just getting punched again.
Oh yeah, he found the that's right.
Yeah, yeah. I just rewatched
I'd
it
have been
recently.
pointing at it the second that beer whizzed by my head.
But that's why, I mean, like, for Ron Artest to do that, like, he wasn't even sure who did it, and he just found somebody, and in the general vicinity from where the bottle came from, and just tried to start wailing on him.
Dude, he was heated. I mean, he was already, at that time he was struggling a lot with his mental health, and I just think it was a freak accident that shouldn't have happened, and
he had anger issues, like that was it, right?
Anxiety and depression is what he said.
And depression. Okay.
Did y'all know he worked at Circuit City?
I did not know that.
This is.
I know he's got an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about it in the
I'm
documentary.
not interested in that at all.
No, I don't want to listen to that at all.
Because,
I know it's terrible.
he's an entertaining dude.
And
Yeah,
honestly,
definitely.
pretty good ball player.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Really
For
good
sure.
ball
Oh yeah,
player.
great defender.
Great defender, great offense. I mean,
Solid,
he
solid.
had
Those long ass arms, man. Like, I mean, he should have been a great defender.
he was.
He had
Dude.
good footwork too.
And that season that he
Great
got
goal.
kicked out, that season that they suspended him for, he was gonna be like he was on track to becoming the MVP because he was the best defender in the league, and offensively, I think he was averaging like 25 or something.
Yeah,
He
I
was
remember
right
he
there
was
at it.
talking in an interview about how he didn't want to go play with the Lakers because he thought that he was on that same level of star, and he didn't want to play with other stars. And me hearing that, I'm like, shut up. But like, I mean, I didn't know enough about him. I mean, I didn't know that he was like a legitimate MVP candidate. I knew he was a great defensive player.
Mhm.
I didn't think scoring wise he was really
In his prime, he was a good scorer.
Who was he drafted by? The Rockets?
No, he
No,
played
no, the Bulls.
Bulls.
It was the
It
Bulls.
was the
Because Jerry
Bulls.
Krause was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you can't fucking work at Circuit City, you jackass." And he was like, "Seems like a responsible thing to do."
Yeah, played with the Bulls. Got traded to Indiana, and then I think he went to the Rockets after that.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then I think
yeah,
from there
yeah.
he went to the Lakers.
For some reason, I thought he went straight from the Rocket. I just saw that thing about Circuit City the other day, and then like the picture was like him looking all like excited and talking about like Circuit City.
He
And
was
the
a
next picture
beast with the
Jerry Krause,
Rockets.
just like, "Fuck, man, no."
He was really good with the Rockets, but T-Mac
Yeah.
couldn't stay healthy, and Yao Ming couldn't stay healthy either.
Yao Ming, that's a big what if. Like, I mean, I think Derrick
Yeah,
Rose
Yao
is
Ming
the
is-
biggest what if ever if he didn't get injured. But Yao Ming is real
probably.
close. Real
Yeah.
close. Who would you say is like the worst, like the biggest what if? Like,
Dude,
if he did
there
not get
was
injured?
some dude from like the 70s or the 80s who I think he played at UNC, and
Len Bias,
I think that's right, and he like died. I
yeah,
think
that's him. Len
one,
Bias.
one
He got
year.
drafted by the Celtics or something
Yeah,
like
he
that.
was a monster.
Dude,
Holy
unbelievable. He would have been
I've
like,
heard the name, but
Yeah.
he died.
yeah, he died. He would have been. They were saying
That's
like he
right.
was gonna be the next, like whoever,
Yeah,
And,
we're at that point.
Yeah, he was like, dude. They always say that
That's
about everybody.
crazy. There
And
was
he passed
that
away.
dude from Kentucky. That they gave like an honorary draft pick in this past NBA draft that passed away in a car crash.
Oh damn!
It was pretty crazy. He was supposed to be like a top 5 pick, like a lottery pick.
Biggest what ifs: Brandon Roy.
Oh, dude, hell yeah!
Bruh, Brandon Roy was
I
amazing.
forgot all about him. Texas, right?
Yeah, yeah, he played with Portland, but I
No,
don't
no, I'm talking
know.
about Texas.
Oh
Longhorns.
yeah, I
think
guess
college.
so.
I don't know.
But-
I remember hearing his name a lot back then.
He was a beast. His knees. He was born with like a knee problem or something like that.
That's right.
This Greg Oden.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Greg Oden was born with one leg longer than the other. So that was, I don't know how they didn't notice that, But when he did play, he was a beast. Like he was gonna be the next Shaq. And then
but I feel like they said that about so many people too.
no,
like,
but when this guy actually played though, he
Yeah.
was the real.
Didn't
Like
he-
it was clear.
I mean, he might
was
have already
the
been
real
hurt, but I remember him playing like for Portland, and I remember watching him just being like, "This is the guy."
Well, yeah, he was a rookie though. Like really, after his rookie year, he didn't really play much because
That's true.
he just
That's true. Because I remember people saying like Sean May was about to be like, I don't know about Shaq references, but like they were talking about like Shaq, and I was like, even back then, I was like, no.
Grant Hill,
It's boring.
Grant Hill, dog, early Grant Hill, unbelievable. I mean, he is what LeBron became. Like he was what LeBron ended up becoming because he had the vision, he had the athleticism. He didn't have the size, but he was really good.
How good a career would Sean Livingston have had? If not,
Dude,
he still had a good career.
Sean Livingston. People forget in 2016 when they played in the finals, Kyrie Irving couldn't do anything with Sean. He was just too tall and just.
Dude, he created problems. I loved Sean Livingston when he played for the Bobcats.
He was unbelievable.
That mid-range game
is unbelievable.
Just silky smooth touch. Like,
well, he played a really big role on the
Golden State Warriors.
Too.
Yeah,
Like,
he was cooking Kyrie in the first two games, and then Kyrie, I guess,
figured
it out.
When like your arms, like he was so tall and lanky, like
he's like 6'8".
Hand in the face, like he perfected that because that shit came easy to him. But like no, his watching him on the Bobcats,
and he had such a high release too.
High release.
Yeah, you're not gonna block that.
He was a 6'7" point guard with a high release.
He was amazing.
You got to put a small forward.
It's kind of crazy.
A lot of skill too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish he wouldn't have got injured because I think he could have been even better.
Looking dude.
T-Mac is another one.
Face. Yeah,
we didn't really get. I mean, we did get to see some of T-Mac, but I think he had a lot left to give.
What an endorsement! Kobe saying that he could do everything. He could
just
do
6'10".
What was bigger, right? Yeah, like that's some pretty high praise for Kobe to be like that guy.
T-Mac was
talented as me at basketball.
T-Mac was legit. Like he was really really good at basketball. I'm trying to think of who else. Derrick Rose, obviously. He was a big what if.
Yeah, I feel like with that style of play, though, like I mean,
Bill Walton
back
in the day.
Yeah,
Bill Walton back in the 70s. I think he won back-to-back championships. I think he actually beat Philadelphia in the with Dr. J and them in the finals. Bill Walton, like I was listening to this guy, Bob Ryan. I've talked about him before. But they were breaking down like the top list, and Bill Walton was on there. And he was like, honestly, like I like the fact they put Bill Walton on here because he was such a great college player. And in the NBA, he did show that like he's like, if I had to play one game to decide the future of humanity, Bill Walton's probably my first pick. It's like I seen him play. That dude was unbelievable, but his knees just gave out on him. Mm-hmm. He was like, and if you go back and watch, I went back and watched like I want to say it was 1977 NBA Finals with Dr. J and Portland. And Bill Walton, dude, like Dr. J could not, he just couldn't get in the lane because Bill Walton was there. And I think that was before they had like the 3-second rule. And so like, it was just, yeah, he was really good. It's just, his knees couldn't hold up. He actually had a comeback in like 1986. He was on the 86 Celtics. And he was a shell of himself at that point, but he won Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah, I feel like if you get that injury stuff dealt with, and you're a guy like that, and you're willing to be. That's why I said earlier, like if Allen Iverson was willing to be that 6-man role, you put him on a good team, he maybe could have got that championship.
I think honestly too, like if he played point guard at Georgetown, he played point guard his early years in the league. They get a new coach. One said the guy's name was like Larry Brown or something. Like the coach switched him over to shooting guard.
Stupid.
Well, I mean, they made the finals, and he won a game in the finals.
Who was the point guard on that?
Eric Snow was the point guard.
What?
Yeah,
he's not nearly as good of a passer.
Let's take the ball out of your hands, Alan.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's probably what his thought process was.
He was like, this guy's gonna shoot. Looks. Like Allen Iverson said, he is like, look, it takes me 8 seconds to get the ball over the half court line. So already we're down to 16 seconds left on the shot clock. He's like, if I pass it off and then get it back, now we're down to like 8-7 seconds. He's like, I gotta shoot, Yeah. And at that time, I think that team though, I think the reason why
shoot every shot.
Yeah. I think the reason why they did that though was because they were like, all right, Allen Iverson, his first thought is to score always. So if we get someone else who's more of just a facilitator and can feed Allen, it worked. I mean, they made it all the way to the finals, so it's hard to say it didn't work. But it's kind of weird to like switch positions like midway through your career.
Yeah,
dude, 2001. So you remember you weren't on when we did Vince Carter.
no.
The shot. Vince Carter never made an NBA Finals. His big moment was in 2001 when they played the Philadelphia 76ers in the playoffs, second round, game 7. Vince Carter has a shot to win the game. Vince Carter is known for being clutch. Missed the shot. They end up losing. Allen Iverson goes on to the Eastern Conference Finals, goes up against Ray Allen on the Bucks. So this is real, this is real old. Now, this was during the time where the NBA was known to be into a little bit of gambling. If you go back and watch that series, it is clearly lopsided. There's so many blown calls and stuff. I think the Bucks were probably a better team overall, but Allen Iverson went ballistic. They end up winning, make it to the NBA Finals, go up against arguably the greatest team ever. And he wins a game, but he ends up losing the series overall. So that was kind of the highlight of his career, was that 2001. And it really put a cap on what point guard, if your best player is your point guard, how far can you get? If your best player is under a certain height, how far can you get? And it wasn't broke until Steph Curry broke through. Now, doesn't hurt that Steph Curry also had, one of the greatest dynasties the league's ever seen. But so now there's no more like excuse of your best player can't be your point guard, because we've seen it now where your best player
really
can't
didn't
be
think
your
about
point
that
guard.
until you just said Steph Curry breaking it. That's fucking sick though. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess the small thing more than the point guard thing, because like Steph's not small.
No, he's like 6'3", right? Yeah.
He's not short, but he's definitely, his weight.
He can create his own space a lot better than a lot of guys that are shorter guys. Like, how tall was?
All he has to do is flinch, and you think he's shooting, and he makes people go flying.
Yeah. Spud Webb. That's what I was trying to think of earlier.
Spud
Webb, little dude. He used to
like 5. He was like 5'3" or 5'4". Yeah, he was short.
He wasn't like really a shooter either. So like, the fuck was he doing out there?
Well, it was the 90s, and in the 90s you could have guys like that. That would not happen today.
But he wasn't. He was their best player. Was he not?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues was like 5'5". Like, he was really short.
Brandon has a personal story about Muggsy.
He brings him up every time I'm on the podcast. Like, I'm not sitting right here. Like,
what you don't like?
He kicked me out of the Bobcats practice facility.
Now, be honest with me, Brandon. What were you doing?
My brother played power soccer, which is wheelchair soccer.
Okay.
And they had an event at the Bobcats Arena, whatever it's called back then.
Time Warner Cable.
Was it Time Warner Cable?
It might have been Bobcat, because it was Bobcats Arena.
I'm not sure. But anyway, me and one of the other guys, his sister was on the team. I forget his name. We only hung out because we were the only kids our age. Well, we started walking around the stadium, and we found the practice facility, and the door was open. So I was like, pushed it. Like, oh shit! There's basketballs on racks. What is a 12-year-old gonna do? And we start balling out for like 10 minutes, and then fucking we see people come in the other side, and like it's some women that are shooting, and then there's this little short fucker. I'm bigger than him, and he yelled at us to get out of there. He's like, "Y'all can't be in here. Y'all gotta get out of here." And I was just sitting there with the ball, trying to think about if I'm bold enough to take one more shot, and I put it back on the rack. And we walked out, and I was just like so sad. I was like, bro. Let me pop the rock, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's you gotta kick me out, fine, but like do it nice. Do it nicely.
It wasn't like I mean, he was annoyed. Like like we're trying to get a workout in. Like, shut up.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get a workout in. I could have been pro. You never know. Maybe that was
Yeah. Maybe they didn't like what they saw. They were like,
That's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
it. They were probably scouting
He
you.
didn't like how
they watched you for 10 minutes and they're like, all right.
Yeah, they saw.
I've
Yeah,
seen enough.
those few minutes we were in there actually shooting, they were like,
All right, slow white guy with a jump shot. We
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, slow white guy with no jump shot. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right, dude. You was knocking him down the other night. Like, you got a jumper on.
That was simply because I was so bad and hadn't played in so long.
No, I haven't touched it. That was my first time
It
touching
feels
the ball
awkward
since
to shoot a
college.
basketball when you haven't shot a basketball in a long time.
Yeah, it really does. I
So,
noticed that too. I was like,
I've
damn.
never had a consistent jump shot. I feel like Sam will tell you, like I shoot from a different place every time I shoot the ball, and I always have. So like that's why I never would have been a good shooter.
Is Allen Iverson overrated, underrated, properly rated?
It's a tough one. That's a tough one. I would have to go right. I think right in the middle because as the enigma that is the answer, he deserves, the praise. But like, should have been better for sure.
Should have played longer.
Should have played longer.
At
But
a
like,
higher,
should have like I mean, maybe if he does some things different, maybe his attitude's a little different. I
Yeah,
don't know, but I can't say underrated.
I
I just won't.
No.
I would probably say he's properly rated. I think people know what he is. I think he was really good for the era that he played in. And we saw what level it could take you to. It could take you to a finals. It could take you to winning a game in the finals. It probably can't get you to win a championship like that.
Yeah.
And I think people at this point, they're like, Allen Iverson would give anyone buckets. However, don't necessarily want him on my team. Like I think people kind of know. I think he's pretty properly rated.
I think there's a recognition there that his style of play held him back a little bit, but it's also his style of play that made him the icon that he is.
Yeah. I mean,
Same way
he
Russell
changed.
Westbrook and like, do you really, really, really want Russell Westbrook to be your best player on your team?
Right. I think we all agree. He's properly rated.
I think so.
Yeah, I love me some Allen Iverson.
One of the greatest ISO players of all time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Best
he's just
best
super fun to watch.
crossover
Yo,
ever.
Easily the best crossover ever. I
Yeah.
mean, he would just make you look stupid.
Where does he rank? So who's got the greatest handles of all time?
I mean, Kyrie.
Kyrie.
I mean,
I don't even
he's
think it's
pretty
really
cool.
that
I watched
close.
this move he did on Steph the other day,
Dude.
and I'm sure you've seen it because it's been played a billion times.
Of course
he
I've seen
did like a little spin move, like half spin, and then just changed hands. It was like such a simple little thing, but like it was gorgeous. And that man just does shit like that all the time. Like he's annoying, but God, watching him dribble that basketball.
How many times though did Allen Iverson carry? Because I felt like he carried
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. His whole career.
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
much
yeah,
was a
for
If
carry.
the refs would have called it slightly differently,
Yeah.
it'd be a different story.
They didn't call it because they were too pussy.
Dude, if you look at it too, look at his numbers. I think I forgot what year.
Sorry.
I forgot what year that they instituted the hand check, like no more hand check
I
rule.
have no idea.
But if you look at his numbers, like he went from like 22 to 26. I think that was the year that they instituted the hand check rule. And his numbers went up because it's easier to score when no one's got their hand on your hip. That's what's
His
crazy.
steals probably went down like a ton. Too.
I wonder how players like Kyrie or Steph would adapt to the older era where they did the hand check and they could put their hand on your
Steph
hip.
for sure would have had a lot more trouble.
I think
but
he would have.
He can get away off the ball. I think a lot better than a lot of other players.
Yeah.
Even better than Kyrie.
Dude, Steph's motor is something that never gets talked about, but he's honestly got one of the best motors I've ever seen.
I feel like he was talking about
It does, but not as much as I think it should. Like people talk about his tough shot making, but dude, he is constantly moving. And it's just, and you look at the attention, like I watched this guy B-ball breakdown on YouTube, and he breaks down, like they talk about like off-ball playmaking. Steph Curry is by far the best off-ball playmaker I think there's ever been.
For sure.
Like the amount of attention that he draws, it's unreal. But yeah, man, I think Allen Iverson, I think he's properly rated. Where do you think he would rank all time?
That's really hard.
Top 100, right?
Yeah, he's top 100.
Yeah.
Top 50?
Barely.
I think barely. I think he's probably in the late 40s if he's top 50. I think that's realistic. Too.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, man, that about wraps it up over here.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, guys. Who we doing next week?
Hakeem
Mm,
or
I love me
dude,
some
let's do
Hakeem.
Melo.
You want to do Melo?
We
We
could do
can't,
Melo.
dude. He's still playing.
Dude, fucking
Yeah, dude, we can still do Melo. We'll do
yeah,
Melo.
dude,
I
let's
don't
do
care.
Melo.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Melo.